Hi everybody, this is just a quick video since I'm not here today to give you a little review on writing equations for linear and exponential functions. So throughout this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 points and we are going to write the equation for the linear function and the exponential function. So we'll start with the linear function here. So if I'm starting with my linear function here, I'm going to take the change in y over the change in x because I want to find my slope. So we're going to take 56 and subtract 14. And we're going to put that over 3 minus 1. All right, I do have a calculator here just in case because I do not like making math mistakes. 56 minus 14 gives me a grand total of 42. 42 divided by 3 minus 1, that's 2. That would give me 21. So my slope is 21. So then what we do is we pick a point. I'm going to pick the nice one, which is 114, and write our equation in y equals mx plus b form. Our y is 14, our m is 21, and our x is 1. So we're going to have y, which is, 14. That's going to equal my m, which is 21, times my x, which is 1, plus b. 14 equals 21 times 1 is 21. That's plus b. Subtract 21. Our b should be negative 7. All right, so my equation for this guy is going to be y equals, my m was 21x, and then that was minus 7. Sorry. Now, for y equals a times b to the x, that's my exponential. We're going to use those points, and remember, we're always taking the larger x coordinate first, and we're going to plug this in for x and that in for y. So my y is going to be 56. That equals a times b raised to the x, which is the third power. And then I'm going to use the other point. My y is 14 equals a times b, which should be raised to the first power. Then we're going to do some fun dividing here to see what happens. The a's divide out. All right, if I have 3 b's on the top and 1 on the bottom, this guy divides out with 1 on the top, leave me with a b squared, and that equals 56 divided by 14 is 4. Then I got to think, what do I square to get 4? That would be 2. So once I get one of them, I'm going to use it to find the other one, just like when we solve a system. So I'm going to use that equation that originally started 14 equals a times b to the first power. My b is 2. 14 equals a times my b of 2 to the first power. Well, I know that 2 to the first power is 2. Divide both sides by 2, 7 is my a. So my equation is going to be y equals my a, which is 7, times my b, which is 2, and that's raised to the x. So that's my linear here, and that's my exponential there. All right, let's keep going. I got a couple more for you guys, and a fun one with negative exponents at the end. All right, let's do the linear right off the bat here. So remember, linear is y equals mx plus b. I can find my slope first by taking the difference of the y's over the difference of the x's. So my y's are 2,048. I'm going to subtract 8. That's over 6 minus 2. This is going to be 2,040. That's actually not too bad. That's over 4. Okay, 2040 divided by 4 gives me a grand total of 510. That is my slope. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a point. I'm going to use the point 2, 8. So I'm going to use a slope of 510 and a point of 2, 8 to find my b. All right, so here we go. My y is 8. My m is 510. My x is 2. We're going to use those to find the b. So we're going to have 8 equals my m of 510 times my x, which is 2, plus b. All right, 510 times 2 gives me... Okay, that's 8 equals 1,020. That's plus b. Subtract 1,020 from both sides. And I'm going to get negative 1,012 is my b. So my equation is going to be y equals my m, which is 510, x minus 1,012. That is my linear equation. Now for my exponential equation. Remember, that's y equals a times b to the x. So I'm going to pick the point and make 2 equations, but pick the point with the larger x on it. So that's this guy. So my y is 2,048. That's going to equal a times b raised to the x, which is 6. Then I'm going to use the other point. Y equals 8 equals a times b raised to the x, which should be squared. Then we're going to divide both of these. Well, what happens is the a's divide out. These two b's divide out with 2 on the top, leaving me with 4 on the top. And that's going to equal whatever 2048 divided by 8 is, which is 256. All right, so then I got to figure out what do I multiply by itself 4 times to get 256. So if you know how to do roots, you can do it. If not, I can just figure out, maybe guess and check this. This is Algebra 1, so we should be able to figure this out. All right, 2 to the 4th. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. All right, this would be a 4, and that would be a 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 to the 4th is 16. That's not big enough. 3 to the 4th would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. That would be a 9. That would give me 81. 81 isn't big enough. 4 to the 4th is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Times that would be another 16. 16 times 16 gives me 256. Got it. So what do I multiply by itself 4 times to get 256? My b is 4. Now we're going to use that to find the a. And I'm going to use that in the second equation that I had, which was 8 equals a times b squared. All right, so here we go. 8 equals a times my b, which is 4. I'm going to square it. 8 equals 4 squared is 16a. Divide both sides by 16. A equals, all right, 8 divided by 16, there is 1, 8, and 8, and 2 and 16. A is 1/2. So our equation is going to be, you guys, y equals 1/2, because that is my a, times my b, which is 4, and that's raised to the x. There we go. Those are my two there. All right. All right. My last one, threw in a little negative exponent there. Same thing. Y equals mx plus b. So let's do our linear here. So we're going to have y equals mx plus b. We want to find the m. So again, the m is taking the difference of the y's, which would be 128 and 2, over the difference of the x's, which would be a 4 and a negative 2. We're going to subtract both of those. This is 126 over, that'd be plus 6. 126 divided by 6 is 21. So my slope is 21. I'm going to use one of the points. I'm going to use negative 2, 2 for my y equals mx plus b. All right, my y is 2, my m is 21, and my x is negative 2. So here we go, 2 equals my m of 21 times my x, sorry, I forgot my 1, of negative 2 plus b. 2 equals, all right, 21 times negative 2 is negative 42. That's plus b. Add 42 to both sides. B equals 44. So my equation is y equals my m, which is 21, times my x, plus 44. That's my linear equation. Now my exponential equation is in the form y equals a times b raised to the x. All right. So if it's a times b raised to the x, I'm going to use these points again, put numbers in for y and x. Remember, we picked the bigger x first, so that's this guy. So this is going to be 128 equals a times my b, I don't know, but my x is to the 4th power. All right, the second one would be 2 equals a times b, the x is negative 2, and now we're dividing those out. The a's divide out. Now, how do I get rid of negative exponents? I bring them to the top as a positive. B to the 4th times b squared. That'd be 4 b's here, right? Times 2 more. That's 6. B to the 6th equals 128 divided by 2 gives me 64. So I got to figure out, what do I multiply by itself 6 times to get 64? 1 to the 6 doesn't pay because 1 multiplied by itself any amount of times is 1. Let's do 2 to the 6 next. So that would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 2 times 2, this would be a 4, this would be a 4, and that would also be a 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. That's what I need. So this is 64. So what do I multiply by itself 6 times to get 64? 2. B equals 2. Then what we're going to do is substitute that back in to find the a. I would recommend using the positive exponent equation. So it was 128 equals a times b to the 4th. Let's put 2 in there. 128 equals a times my b is 2 to the 4th. All right, 2 to the 4th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. That's another 4. That'd be 16. 128 equals 16a Divide both sides by 16 to get your A. 128 divided by 16 is 8. So I have an A and I have a B. So that's going to be y equals my A, which is 8, times my B, which is 2, and that's raised to the x power. All right, so there you go. That's a little review of getting 2 points and writing the equation for a line and a curve. Good luck.